The crucial, famous rule of study, 80-20 rule. The 80-20 principle in studying, also known as the Pareto principle, suggests that roughly 80% of your learning outcomes come from only 20% of your study efforts. To apply this, you must identify the most impactful 20% of your study material or methods and focus your time there, leading to greater efficiency and results. For instance, in language learning, mastering the 20% most common words could allow you to understand 80% of everyday conversations. Applying this principle requires a shift from studying everything equally to strategically concentrating on high-yield activities like active recall and focusing on core concepts. Understanding the principle in a study context. The core idea, the 80-20 rule, isn't a strict scientific law, but a powerful observation that a small number of causes create the majority of the effects. In studying, this means not all study tasks are equally valuable. Some activities might feel productive but yield minimal results, while a few key activities can lead to significant breakthroughs. High impact versus low impact study. This principle helps you differentiate between the vital few and the trivial many of your study tasks. Instead of getting bogged down in every detail, you prioritize the actions that will lead to the biggest improvements. Examples in practice. Language learning. Instead of learning vocabulary from A to Z, focus on the 1,000 most frequent words, which make up about 80% of common speech. Exam preparation. Instead of rereading every chapter, identify the key concepts, formulas, or topics that are most likely to appear on the exam and focus your review on those areas. Skill-based learning. When learning a new skill, break it down and find the core components that have the most significant impact. Allocate 80% of your practice time to mastering these fundamental elements. How to apply the 80-20 principle to your studies. 1. Break down the subject. Deconstruct the subject you are studying into its most fundamental components and your potential tasks into actionable steps. 2. Identify the vital few. Identify which specific topics, concepts, or study methods are most critical to your success. For learning a new language, identify the most common 1,000 to 2,000 words and fundamental sentence structures like subject, verb, object. For a history class, focus on the key turning points, figures, and causal relationships rather than memorizing every date and minor event. For math, master the core theorems and problem-solving techniques, as these will be used to solve the majority of problems. 3. Prioritize your efforts. Allocate the majority of your study time and energy to the identified high-impact 20%. 4. Focus on active recall. Focus on study methods that force your brain to retrieve information, such as practicing with past papers or using active recall and blurting, writing down everything you can remember. These are typically more effective than passive methods like rereading notes. 5. Embrace context and application. Don't just memorize facts. Understand the context in which they are used and practice applying the knowledge through problem-solving or real-world scenarios, like using sentence patterns as templates. The benefits of using the 80-20 approach. Increased efficiency. By focusing on what matters most, you can make significant progress with less effort. Reduced overwhelm. The vastness of any subject can be daunting. The 80-20 principle provides a roadmap, helping you avoid feeling lost and knowing where to focus your attention. Better results. By honing in on the most effective techniques and knowledge, you are more likely to achieve a deeper understanding and higher grades. In summary, the 80-20 principle encourages you to be strategic rather than exhaustive in your studies. By identifying and focusing on the 20% of your study material and efforts that yield the most significant results, you can learn faster, work smarter, and achieve a higher quality learning.